Hi, Ian Dainty here, and this is the third video of the three major mistakes that stop business owners, CEOs, presidents, owners, etc. from moving their business from 7 figures to 8 figures and beyond. But before we get into the third mistake, let's just quickly review the first 2 videos. The first video, as you recall, was about the 9 factors for B2B marketing and sales success. We had 5 pillars and 3 processes below: planning, analytics, and research, and underlying all of those is the client-facing team. If you haven't and you have any questions on it, please review the first video. Second video was about sales and marketing, in that most CEOs, presidents of particularly small to medium-sized businesses don't know enough about sales and marketing. And sales and marketing can include many things in a small business or any business. Particularly, it can include marketing communications, or MarCom as it's known, getting your message out here. I think he's getting his message. Includes sales, customer service, implementation, and sometimes consultants, third-party or in-house consultants. So these can all be included in sales and marketing, and it's up to the CEO, presidents, owners, etc., to understand these, because they have to understand this is really what your business is all about. So let's look at mistake number 3, which is not spending enough on sales and marketing. Now, I wrote an article about this, 8-10 months ago, and I get a lot of visits from it, 2 or 3 usually every day, about what should people spend on sales and marketing. So let's look further at it today. So what does it mean not spending enough? Well, almost all B2B companies spend more on their research and development than sales and marketing. They spend more on developing a product and more, I got to be perfect, than they do on sales and marketing. But let's review 2 of the most successful B2B technology companies that are still around, Microsoft and IBM. Now, Microsoft and IBM, one could argue that they never really did have the best technology. And certainly in IBM, when I worked for them, there were a lot of companies that had a whole bunch of better technology. And people have complained to that about Microsoft too, that their technology, they don't like it or whatever. But what they've both done is spend more on sales and marketing than they have on research and development, building their product. Let's look at Microsoft. Over the past 5 years, Microsoft has spent approximately 14.4% of their revenue on research and development, but they've spent 18.7% of their revenue on sales and marketing. That's 1.3 times more on sales and marketing than on R&D. Now, you may say they've already got a product, but as you know, in technology, products go out of fashion, and somebody else has got a better product, tomorrow or the next day. IBM, similar. They spent 6% of their revenue in R&D. Now, sales and marketing and administration, I couldn't, from their financials, they included administration, 22.7%. So that's 3.8 times more on sales and general administration than on R&D. And it's probably the same. I know it's at least 1.5 to 2%, 2 times more rather, on sales and marketing. So you can see 2 great companies spend more on sales and marketing than they do R&D. So what that says is, get your product out there through sales and marketing, and let the marketplace tell you what is needed next. You got your basic product, you've developed it, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you don't know what perfect is until somebody buys it and says, I like this, I don't like that, etc. So get it out there. Here's what you need to do in order to build up your sales and marketing team. Generally speaking, most, particularly small businesses and medium-sized businesses, I'm talking businesses here from 1 or 2 million up to 40 or 50 million, don't pay enough for sales and marketing. They hire somebody and put them on straight commission, and it's usually somebody who needs a job as opposed to somebody who knows what they're doing. And right now, because of the internet, marketing now is more important than ever, so you've got to spend money on marketing in B2B. One of the things you need to do is build lists. You've got to get prospects into your funnel. You've got to cultivate the relationships that you already have built up, and as well as the new relationships you're developing. You need to develop a strategic account management program, and all of these in order to manage your strategic accounts, and you need to be doing email campaigns. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a program that I have, but these are all really important. You need to use as many marketing methods as possible, especially content. And we talked about that. I'm going to talk about content in a minute here. But we talked about that in the first video, especially sales and marketing, and what marketing elements are needed. You should have a chief revenue officer to oversee all. Now, your chief revenue officer would look after sales and marketing, customer service, and possibly your consultants in your implementation team. But certainly sales, marketing, customer service, you should have one of them if you're big enough to do that. If you're not big enough, then the CEO should be that person. Revenue generation, sales and marketing needs to be understood by the CEO, as I mentioned in my second video. And if you can't hire people, then use an agency, because it's going to cost you, a half to probably 10% of much as to hire an agency as it would if you wanted to hire all those people. So use an agency, test them out, make sure they can do what you need. And in marketing and sales, I believe you should pay some salary, but you should pay a retainer, also possibly your agency, plus results. So you pay them a retainer or their salary, and then you pay them a commission, however you want to look at it, based on results. And the other thing that every company needs, sales and marketing, particularly for the sales and now the marketing teams and the customer service teams, is they need coaching and training. CSO Insights is a sales and marketing research firm, and they do a lot of research, usually over 200 to 2,500 plus companies a year in B2B. And they've defined 4 sales processes: a random one, an informal one, a formal one, and a dynamic one. I'm not going to go through them today, but you can see what happens, how the different processes meet expectations. The dynamic sales process, which is what I train and coach, teach and coach, is almost 4 times, 3.5 times as effective as a random sales coach. Or a random sales process, rather. And you can see the different the effectiveness of each one of them. But our dynamic sales process, so if you get coaching and training and you have a dynamic sales process, these are the kind of results you can get as opposed to ad hoc. Percentage of reps making quota in the 4 levels. Well, they've only gone up to 3 here in CSO Insights, but you can see it's 12 percentage points. Now that's quite a bit. That's almost 25% more. Reps making quota in level 3, and in level 4 it steps up to close to 70%. Percentage of company plan attainment, 9 percentage points. Forecast wins, 14 percentage points. That's if you have the a formal sales process. Losses go down quite a bit, 9%. Look at turnover is down quite a bit too. So coaching and training really gives you a lot of benefits for your business, even if you've got a sales and marketing staff now. I talked about that in the last video, not knowing enough. You still need a lot of coaching and training, and it has to go on. Training doesn't work without coaching. I've showed a video where training after about a month dies off, where you get coaching, then you get that reinforcement, and it keeps growing and growing. So why is all of this important? Well, if you spend wisely and frequently, and more than your competitors on sales and marketing, there's an excellent chance you will grow faster, more effectively, and much larger than they will. So wisely and frequently. Now, wisely means efficiently and effectively, okay? Then you have a real chance of dominating, not just growing, but you have a chance of dominating your market. I recommend that your company spend at least 15% of revenue, irrespective of what stage you are in. If you're at the 1 million or 2 million, I believe you should spend 20% plus. If you're at the billion, then that you may not spend that much, but at least 15% of revenue for SMBs. And SMBs, I take at approximately 1 or 2 million, up to 40 to 45, 50 million. If your company is a technology company in particular, you should be spending closer to 25% of revenue in your first 10 years in order to obtain a dominant position in your market. Because as you know, technology becomes obsolete very quickly in today's rapidly evolving marketplace and rapidly evolving technology. So what you had last week, somebody else has a better one this week. So you've got to spend money once you get into the market, to try and dominate it. So how can you change your current situation? Well, here's what you need to do. First of all, you've got to assess what you're doing now. Where are you? How much are you spending on sales and marketing? Are you being effective? Are your sales and marketing people meeting quotas? All of those things. You need to get the right people. Last time I showed you a download. If you haven't had that, you can still go back to video 2. Go back to my website, and you can get the download about how to hire the right people for sales and marketing. Get coaching for your teams, whether that's your vice president of sales and marketing. Many times he or she doesn't have time to do that because they're too busy running the business. So get the right coaching so you get a dynamic process going for you. And the CEOs must take charge. They must be involved in sales and marketing. As I mentioned last time, Drucker says there's 2 things important for a company: marketing and innovation. Now, marketing includes those 5 things we talked about before. So one of the things you can do now is work on your content, writing articles, producing videos like this, or doing audios, podcasts. You should be blogging 1 time per week. Better is more often than it's better if it's more often than that, but minimum 1 time per week, an article, a video, or an audio. Make content helpful, not brochureware. Too many companies write brochureware as if they think they're blogging. Use your own opinion, thought leadership, success ideas, but particularly helping your clients on different aspects of your business, and if they use your products, what they'll get out of it. Don't talk about your products. Tell them what they're going to get out of by using it, but also just don't talk about that. Talk about opinions you have, thought leadership, success ideas, etc. Have calls to action. Give away valuable information. Build up ebooks and articles and fact sheets and those kinds of things, and give them away when people give you some information of their own, like their email and name. Get software that tracks visitors. There's Pardot and HubSpot. You're probably familiar, Eloqua, that all track visitors to your website so you know who's coming and who's not. And then market your content. Put it out there. Maybe you can guest blog. Put it out on social media. Put it out on LinkedIn. Put it out on Google+. Put it out on Twitter. Possibly Facebook, although I'm not a big believer in Facebook for B2B, but particularly those other 3. Put it in video form, so then you can put it out on YouTube and Vimeo. Use audios where you can put it out on a podcast. Market your content is more important than actually writing it, so spend more time marketing it. It's got to be good content. Spend good time writing it, but then market it. Or better still, once you've done all that, and I think you need to really get involved in the content side of it, buy my program. So I'm introducing a program today that I haven't done before. I'm putting everything together that we've talked about in the first video, the 9 factors, and modules are going to be the 5 pillars, and integrated into that is going to be the PAR processes: planning, analytics, and research. And as we go through it, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the strategic account management, Sam, will talk about your client-facing team. So module 1 is going to talk about the basics. You need to know your ideal client personas, what your client goals are. We'll talk about that, your issues, your value proposition, differentiators, and competition. Now, these are all important, and most people don't spend enough, most companies don't spend enough time understanding that. You'll find out once you know this, and you get your value proposition in, and it'll show you what your differentiation are, it's going to be so much easier for you to sell and to market. And then you need to know the buying process. What goes on? What factors affect the buy? There's 5 of them. What are the 5 buying stages? What social proof do you need? Why do B2B companies buy? There's 5 reasons, and one of them most people leave out. That's the personal side. And then who are the 5 influencers? So all of these things are important. I'm going to spend time on all of these with you. Module 3 will be marketing elements. What goes into a marketing plan? What goes into a website? What content do you need? Video, audio, all of that. LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Google+ you should be using. Email marketing is really important. We're going to talk about that. And you should be doing things like speaking engagements, webinars, seminars, teleseminars. If you want to get going quickly, you must run ads, pay-per-click, do public relations, etc. So we're going to talk about all of those things in Module 3. Module 4, we're going to talk about a sales playbook. Very few companies have this. I'm going to show you how to develop and why it's important. Qualifying. I've developed a thing called the game plan, and bam, we're going to talk about why they're successful and what you need to do when you're actually talking to clients. How you get in and talk to the decision makers, the CEOs and presidents or CIOs of companies. How to run demos properly. how to write proposals, how to answer RFPs. And then when you're in front of people, how to handle objections. What are some of the common objections you'll get? Price is one. So it'll tell you how to handle that. How to close once you've handled the objection. How to understand the relationship you're going to build with each of your clients and the different people within a client, and the importance of key account managers and why you need to have account managers, key account managers. Then Module 5, I'm going to talk about strategic account management. So you've already got an account. How can you build that account? I'm going to talk about all the knowledge requirements you need, both from the industry and the client, and what opportunities that develops. I'll give you a client management framework that is something I've developed over the years that I haven't seen anybody else use it. What outputs are you going to get on the opportunities? How are you going to resolve issues? I have a specific method that I use, again, that I haven't seen anybody use. Again, with the relationship management, how you can build relationships, and then how to use your customer relationship management system. So what is the program? Well, I'm just showing you what it's going to be. It's going to be 5 modules. It's going to be delivered on Mondays. The first module is November 17th. And we're going to have Q&A every Thursday, except for November 27th, which is the USA Thanksgiving, and then we'll have it on the Wednesday. We'll fit the PAR factors in each module, planning, analytics, and research. We'll go into each module and show how they fit in. And we'll finish on December 18th, which is a Thursday, a week before Christmas, and also have a Q&A wrap-up on December 22nd. So we'll have a Q&A wrap-up on December 18th, and then another Q&A wrap-up on December 22nd for any questions you have. So let me just talk a little bit about the program development. As I mentioned, I've been in business now for 40 years, or a little over 40 years, since 1974. And I've had my own companies. I started out with IBM and learned so much from them. It was unbelievable. I've had my own companies. My first company was up to about $23 million, and developed that all on my own financing and everything. So I understand all of that. And so I understand both from an experience and an application standpoint, and I also do a lot of research, reading, and talking to people, interviewing people, etc. But more important than that is my experience and application on this. I've used it for my own companies, I mentioned it, and particularly for client companies. Helped clients develop hundreds of millions of dollars in revenues. As I said, my own company I developed, it was about 23 million when I sold it. One-on-one company. When I work with a one-on-one company, my fee is usually well over $100,000 because it takes 4 to 6 months, usually longer, up to a year, when you do the training and the coaching, and you get into coaching individuals, but particularly teams. So it's well over $100,000. And since the internet arrived, it's made B2B marketing now even more important. B2B marketing used to be brochures and the odd PR thing. But now with, you can do webinars and online and content, and all of that is important to get out to your prospects and get their names, etc. So B2B marketing is really, really important these days. So you're going to have everything set out for you in nice, easy to learn modules, and when applied, you'll see results that you've never had before. Generally 3 times to 10 times. Once we get working together on it, you probably won't get 10 times just doing this program, but if we work together after, good chance of getting 10 times results that you never had before. And you're going to get a complete money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. Here's my guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied with the program for any reason, you have a full year until December 25th to ask for a refund. So you work through the program and say, Ian, this isn't working, this is all BS, I don't like it, then they'll give you a refund, no questions asked. Okay? So a full money-back guarantee. And you have a full year to test it out. So why now? Well, it's a great time of year right now in November because you get all set to hit the sales and marketing trail running in January 2015. You'll have everything you need to go out and meet your clients and prospects. And everything will be fresh in your mind for the new year because we're going to finish it up a week or two just before the new year. So everything's going to be fresh. I'm going to answer all your questions for you too. So now is a great, great time to do it. So as all questions, what are your fees? Well, my fee for the program is $1,997. However, if you register before midnight, Friday, November 14th, you'll get a 25% discount and only pay $1,497. So just under $1,500. But imagine now, this is 40 years of application, knowledge and research, and building my own companies and coaching other people. $1,500, just under $1,500 to get this. You can't get it anywhere else for this. And look at all the modules if you review this video. All the information, all the knowledge you're going to get. You'll be able to, as I said, 3 times, once we finish this, once you get going in January, February, March, you'll get 3 times what you paid for this. If you don't, then I will give you your money back. And then as you start using it and building it and building it, you're going to get 10, 20, 30 times over the next months and years of using this program. So it's only $1,497. Some people may find that a bit of an investment, but I guarantee you it'll pay off, or I'll give you your money back. Or you can make 2 equal payments of $999, one today and one on December 1st. So you decide which one you want to do. I really hope that you're going to sign up, because I know that you're going to benefit from this program. So register for the program in the links below, either the one before Friday midnight and for $14.97, or the 2 payment program, whichever you feel is best for you. And if you have any questions at all, please email me through my email link below, and I'll answer any questions that you have. Thanks, and I really look forward to working with you on this program.